Official weight 204.5 for the challenger. Official weight 204 for Mr. Jones.
All I have to say is watch me destroy Bones tomorrow. Watch me.
Man, I tell you what, I've come an awfully long way to be back here on this stage with all you guys. I feel so blessed, so honored to be here, and I just pray that God uses me tomorrow.
Now I understand USADA is #1 bullshit.
Official weight 145. Official weight 144 for the champion.
There's only one thing to say. This belt is gonna switch hands tomorrow. Be ready, guys. Be ready.
I want to say thank you guys for coming, Cyber Nation. I'm born for this, and I'm here for the tomorrow.
Your friend Daniel Cormier said that he relinquished the belt today. Did you hear about this?
It's a smart thing to do. It's a smart thing to do. My opinion of that is, dude, you never were the champ. I think he knows that in his spirit. He never beat me, you know? You never beat me. You actually lost to me twice. So relinquishing the belt, it's just like, was it really ever his belt? I think in the fans' eyes, they know that's been Jon Jones's belt since 2011. If it wasn't, why would you relinquish it? Why would you not fight or make a stink about it? Or, you know, he's giving it up because he knows the rightful owner of it is here. I feel like he knows that he won't beat me, and so he's making it look honorable by retiring. It's like being an NFL player and retiring before being cut. You know, it's kind of a similar thing.
There have been times where I thought that your rivalry with DC is over, and then it always boils up again. Do you think it's over now, or do you think it resurfaces?
I think it'll always resurface, you know. If you notice, Daniel Cormier talks about me. The only time I ever bring him up is situations like this. You know, he thrives when any negative news comes out about me, and he's the first one to tweet his opinion. And you know, so I'm the type of guy who I try not to respond to every critic of mine, but Daniel Cormier does have a platform, so I'm always going to kind of give him a rebuttal, and so I believe the argument's going to kind of always go on.
Give us an idea what Jon has been like behind the scenes this week, because it's a big moment for him. He's apologizing to fighters. He's apologizing to everybody.
Here's the thing. Jon Jones doesn't need to apologize to anybody. He didn't do anything wrong. This is just the way that this thing went down. This thing's been spun so much that it seems like Jon Jones did something wrong. We rented a 737 and flew all the fighters over here from Vegas. It's a 40-minute flight. I mean, how put out are people? Not very put out. We even tried to accommodate their families and their friends and things like that. The fans, we had over 3,000 fans that were coming in from out of town make the switch to LA, and they got cheaper tickets and they got first crack at good tickets. So there's some people, when you make a decision like this and you make a move like this, it's not ideal for everybody, but you can never make everybody happy no matter what you do.
Are you worried at all?
I heard some of the fighters saying, stop talking to us about this. We're good. We're in LA. We're fighting. This is it. We're in a hotel, and then we're going to come out and fight. And the arena's sold out. You know, making this move, I didn't know. I thought we might do a $300,000–$400,000 gate right after Christmas. We killed it. This thing's sold out. We're going to put on a great show tomorrow, and the fight's going to be awesome.
What about your man DC giving up the title? What'd you make of that?
Yeah, you know, I expect Cormier to be all fired up and on a rampage. He hates this guy, but at the end of the day, he wasn't being stripped of the title. He was vacating the title. It would never go down in history that he was stripped. I'm going to get stripped and I didn't do anything wrong. I told DC a long time ago, if you're my champion for the rest of my career, I'm good with that. You know, he's one of the greatest athletes I've ever worked with. Such a good guy. He's being a little dramatic right now. He's being a little dramatic because of his hatred for Jon Jones. And he would have never been stripped. He's vacated.
Did California know when they licensed him on December 11th that he had those previous infractions, the one in August? Were they aware?
No, they didn't. Nevada knew at that time, but California didn't. USADA, you know,
shouldn't they have
reached out to
license it?
Yeah, I mean, hey, in hindsight, maybe. Yeah, I'm you know,
that would have changed the course of all of this.
I'm definitely a proponent of as much transparency as possible. Unfortunately, like, how do you think of, you know, every scenario? I think in USADA's mind, they had no obligation to let Nevada know about this at all. I mean, it wasn't within their jurisdiction. I think out of an abundance of caution, they did it. Yeah, could they have given it to Andy as well? You know, potentially, but
the guy you've been, or will forever be linked with, Lance Armstrong, has been vocal about you this week.
Yeah.
Anything you'd like to say in response to some of the things he said?
Lance Armstrong is probably one of the biggest frauds and cheats in professional sport, and he's out there making judgments. You know, again, I think he's the least credible guy to make those types of judgments. These same experts that are, you know, doing these studies and putting out these facts are the ones that basically exposed him as the biggest fraud in sports. So in my mind, that guy has no credibility. He can say whatever he wants to say. I don't pay him any attention.
When you came out to the weigh-in wearing a shirt, it had a message on it, I think. Can you explain the shirt that you were wearing today?
You know, you just stand doping with a cross right over it. I'm just standing behind it, you know. I stand up what I believe in, and that's it.
How do you feel when he kind of makes light of it? Like when he was at the press conference and he was saying pictogram instead of picogram and laughing about it, did you have any emotions about that?
No, it's just terrible.
Has that added any motivation for you?
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah. It's gonna feel much better when I have him on the floor and I finish him.
Do you see another rematch against Daniel Cormier in the future?
I don't know, man. You know, it's up to Daniel Cormier to challenge me to get his belt back. I heard that he ended up relinquishing his belt, and I think it's a good look. But at the end of the day, I know most people know that he never was the champion. Hats off to him for being the heavyweight champion of the world. But I mean, I've been the light heavyweight champion for since 2011. That's just facts. The belt was given to him. He has not beat me. So he can cancel all doubts by challenging me and really being a legit champ.
Would you ever fight him at heavyweight, John?
No. He looks good at heavyweight, you know. He's designed to be a heavyweight, you know. He's comfortable there. He naturally goes to heavyweight in between every fight. That is his spot. And like I said, he makes a great heavyweight champion. Even before fighting me, he was on a tear at heavyweight. I mean, that's his zone. I have no reason to challenge him at heavyweight because for me, it's not personal. When he comes down to light heavyweight, it'll be personal again, and he can have what he have, I'll have what I have. And that's being the most dominant light heavyweight champion, the only light heavyweight champion since 2011.
I mean, knowing that you feel this great, knowing that you feel better about your body, I mean, does the result have to show that you made the right decision, or do you already know you made the right decision?
I already know I made the right decision. You know what I mean? I got to fight a freaking former two-time champion. You know what I mean? So if things don't go my way, like, dude, it's a tough guy. You know what I mean? But, you know, I'm very prepared for this fight. I feel very confident I'm going to get the win. You know, but Carlos is a dangerous guy, but winning or losing isn't going to validate the decision to myself. I already know this is right, but to the rest of the world, I want to show that I am a welterweight now. I am here, and the goal stays the same. Moving up the rankings, moving towards the title, becoming world champion.
But he's been through some hard times, coming from a couple losses now. Do you feel that, like, fighting him now maybe doesn't necessarily have exactly the same sting that it would a couple years ago?
To a casual fan, maybe, you know what I mean? But for me, I'm a true MMA fan. You know, real recognized, real Carlos Condit's about as tough as they get, you know what I mean? And I'm not just saying this as another young guy that's going up against a former champion. You know, the guy's a legend. You can't say he's not. But I have pictures from when I was 21 years old wearing my Sinister Natural Born Killer walkout t-shirt. I'm a true fan of the guy. I respect him a ton, and it made it easier for me to prepare for such a tough opponent because I recognize how dangerous he is. I recognize his skills. I've been watching him. I don't have to watch film on Carlos Condit to know how good he is. I've been a fan of him pretty much since he got in WEC. So it's an honor to fight the guy, but I have to beat him, end of the day.